Okay, I don't know if you guys actually care for the skateboard intros at all, but I'm gonna keep doing them regardless. Since this is obviously a really sensitive topic, I don't really want to draw out the intro and waste anybody's time. But I do want to say a couple of things first. Even though this might be obvious, yeah, there's a lot of sensitive stuff ahead, so I just wanted to give that warning. And also, I'd like to say that I don't think I carry any trauma from this anymore. Like, as you'll find out, it took me kind of a long time to even acknowledge it, but I feel like I accepted it pretty quickly and moved on. And I just wanted to say all that before I even begin explaining the backstory of this. And I want to say that first, if you've been watching the last few videos, it'll give some context, but this basically revolves around my first ex, my first girlfriend. So I was with her about a year ago now. It was March and April of 2025. Pretty much, as I said in that video, what had happened was she broke up with me because of her friend who wanted her to cheat on me, pretty much. And it was pretty fucked up. It was pretty hurtful. Once again, you can see that if you want to watch those videos. But I want to fast forward a bit to the beginning of last semester, so late August and early September, where after breaking up with me, like she sort of begged me to get back together with her. And during this first week of school, I thought, okay, I might as well try again, and see how I feel. But during this entire week, the entire relationship, I was just so over it at this point. Like it all just felt really off. There was this weird feeling of just like any time that she wasn't with me, I would feel relief instead of the previous feeling of just missing her a lot when she wasn't around. So basically, early September, I think September 3rd, we agreed to break up. Like, actually, this time. And pretty much, at some point during this conversation, and this is where it's going to start getting kind of personal, but at some point during this conversation, she said to me, like, okay, but even though we're broken up, I don't, or she's like, if we're breaking up, like, I really don't think I want to stop having sex with you. And my response was just like, well, we don't necessarily have to stop. Like, it's pretty stupid, yeah, I know, but that was kind of just what I was thinking. And I guess it's technically true. We didn't have to stop. But I wasn't ever going to ask for that with her. But pretty much what happened after that was about a week later after breaking up, she messaged, like, begging to stay with me. And I accepted. And pretty much what happened then, this isn't really the incident yet. This is kind of leading up to it still. What had happened was, once we got to my place, she started talking about the, I guess, new guy that she really liked and just, like, had a crush on. And, this was, like, a week after we broke up, and she's telling, like, her ex, who she begged to stay with, about another guy. So, like, I'm already finding it kind of weird, and she just keeps talking about it. And then she starts talking about how she's been going on a bunch of Tinder dates, and then she's talking about how she made out with one guy and, like, how good of a kisser he was. And at this point, I'm just like, why are you telling me this? Or, like, why are you telling me this, and why did you ask to stay with me if you're just going to talk about this? And if you've already moved on within a week of us breaking up. And pretty much at that point, she's like, fine then, I'll go, I'll just walk back. And it was late at night, so it wouldn't have, she had said before that she didn't feel safe doing that walk late at night. So I'm like, no, like, you don't have to walk back in the middle of the night, but I'm just saying this is the last time, like, I want to meet up with you like this, because obviously you're moving on, and I should probably be doing the same. So that's kind of how it went, right? The next day she left, and then another week of silence, kind of no contact in a way. And then here's where it starts getting kind of messy, and I'll explain, this is what most of the video is going to revolve around. She messaged me saying, like, hey, I got put on the school suicide watch, can I please come over? And I really didn't want her to come over at all. I didn't want to see her, but obviously, since she was saying this, I felt like I had a duty in a way. Like, I really didn't want her to be in danger of suicide. So, yeah, she came over, and you can probably guess what happened next. And yeah, I really didn't want it, but I didn't say no because I thought that it was what she needed. And yeah, it was kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to think, like, she didn't really necessarily push that because I didn't say no. But at the same time, this was after I said that I didn't ever want to meet like that again. And then she said, like, I'm on the suicide watch, please, can I come over? And then she said once she was there that that would make her feel better if we had sex. And I agreed, obviously. I just explained all of it. I agreed to that not because I wanted to, I really didn't want to, but because of her situation and the fact that I just wanted her to not be feeling that way anymore. And this was, September, mid September or something. And I kind of just never thought about it again after this for a really long time until March, where, like, I was with one of my friends and he was going through like a kind of similar situation. His thing is worse, definitely. The thing that he was going through was a lot worse than the thing that I just described. But pretty much what happened there was once he was done talking about it, he's like, "All right, like now your turn. Tell me something traumatizing, I guess." So pretty much I explained that to him, like, sort of casually, just like, "Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's not good." But then when I said that to him, when I explained what I just explained to him, his entire demeanor shifted. Like, he was already he already, like, had tears in his eyes from his own situation. And then when I said this, he just completely switched up and was, like, horrified. And I'm like, "Ooh." I'm like, "That's not good." And yeah, I mean, obviously he saw it more severely than I saw it. And after that, I started telling more people about what had happened in my case. And everybody I've said it to is like, "Yeah, it's pretty clearly coercion, which would be considered assault. Like, I'm really sorry that that happened to you." And the thing is, it's like, even now, because this is kind of just the way that I am, like, I feel like by saying, "Oh yeah, that is assault, I got assaulted," I feel like I'm really, really diminishing people who got actually assaulted. But everybody I've talked to agrees that what happened to me would be considered assault. And it's kind of something that, once again, it was kind of hard, like, for a week after I started telling people, and they all agreed that, like, what happened was really messed up in my case. I was like, it was like a week of feeling bad about it. And then I sort of just forgot about it again until right now, I guess, coming back to this channel. So yeah, once again, I have no idea what that would actually be considered. I don't know if that would be considered assault by most people, but everybody I told that to said that it was. So basically, anyway, there is a little bit more to the story where, like, that friend who I told about it, the first one who I told about it, he was still in contact with my ex, and basically he just told her to never talk to me again, to never contact me again. And I mean, that's a good thing, because I didn't ever want to talk to her again. Not just because of that, just because in general I didn't really want anything to do with her, and I still don't. But I also want to say that, obviously, with the role that I've been on, now this is like 3 relationship related videos in a row. I'm going to keep going with them, and probably the very next video after this is still going to involve this first ex. And I kind of want to clarify that, like, since I don't carry trauma from this, I feel like I don't want it to just I feel okay talking about other stories related to this without it just being like really messed up, if that makes sense. Like the next story that I'm planning on telling is fairly lighthearted, and I'm okay with that. And I don't want somebody to be like, "Why are you telling this when such like a messed up thing happened? Like, how are you able to tell this lighthearted story when a person involved did something like this to you?" I just wanted to clarify that now that it isn't really like that for me. But yeah, I kind of just like wanted to tell the story because besides that couple of days where I was telling people, I never told anybody else about it until right now, until making this video. And hopefully this makes an interesting video. I'm thinking this is probably a lot shorter than the last two videos, but there also wasn't really that much to the story, if I'm being honest. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'll probably create the next video within the next few days to a week. I've been enjoying this channel a lot. So, you know, yeah. Goodbye.